Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show, a podcast helping entrepreneurs scale their businesses online to create more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. Now, with over 20 years of business building, coaching, and consulting experience, here's your host, author, speaker, and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. I'm so excited for our next guest, Miss Laurie Watkins. She is the CEO and founder of the Cooks Collective. She's an author, she's a political and foreign affairs TV contributor, and former policy director. I'm so excited to have her on. She wrote a really great book about burnout, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking to her about today. Welcome, Laurie. Welcome to the show. So happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. It's great to be here.
Laurie, if you had to say one thing that you are known for, what would you say? What are you known for, Laurie?
I think the thing that I am most known for is speaking up for those that are either most vulnerable or those that feel they don't have a voice. Whenever I see someone that needs someone to speak up for them, or I see them quiet, or I see that there's an injustice being made, I have no problem standing up for other people. And I think more people should do that on behalf of other people to show community care. But yeah, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that because I noticed you start the Cooks Collective, which is really for restaurant workers. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that?
Sure. Recently, I launched the Cooks Collective, which is a nonprofit, and we train chefs, cooks, those industry workers in the food and beverage space into being policy advocates. So advocating with lawmakers and policymakers within their own communities and legislatures, or here in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, turning them into better storytellers than they already are, because a lot of people in this industry have amazing lived experiences, and teaching them how to be better policy advocates for themselves, for their team, but on behalf of mental health. In the food and beverage industry, I know we're going to talk about burning out, but the record rates of suicide, of drug and alcohol addiction, and anxiety, depression, all of that is sometimes even higher than they say. People in that industry feel more stressed out than a neurosurgeon. There is research that shows that's true, and it shouldn't be. People are in sustainable kind of working environments. Most oftentimes, it's not reliable, right? You don't know that you're going to get a specific paycheck every single month. It's based on tips most time. It's also how people are treating you every day when you're at the job, and just how fast the environment is of time is everything, and service is above all. And did the person feel that they got a good experience or not? And you could have given them, pulled out all the stops, they had every bell and whistle, but that person might say it sucked. And that's all they base it on, is the review that they give or the words that come out of their mouth. And that can be pretty serious and feel at times, if it's negative, like detrimental to these people in this professional space. And I can completely understand. And so I created this nonprofit to try to help people avoid burnout, leaving the industry, because so many people are leaving the food and beverage industry, closing their restaurants because they just can't take it anymore, or it's untenable and the stress is too much, or all the other issues that come along with having such a business like that.
Tell us all a little bit about your book. What's it called? What was the premise of it? Tell me about that.
My book is called Go From Stress to Strong. It's a book that I wrote about my own experience through burnout. Go From Stress to Strong, health and fitness advice from high achievers. So while it does showcase my story, it also showcases the stories of those people that I interviewed. Jose Andres, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Lori Garver, who is the deputy head at NASA. There are too many people to list. You can go and please buy the book for yourself and check it out. There's recipes in there, there's workouts, there's meditation, all of the area, tips on how to sleep better, all of it's in there. But it was in my experience from working on political campaigns, working on Obama's first presidential campaign in 2008 in Florida, absolutely burning out in that experience. Using my grandfather and uncle during that campaign, delivering a eulogy at my uncle's funeral, not remembering a lick of it, not even really remember being present there. At one point, this just sticks out in my head, so I'll share it with your audience. I was sitting in a recliner that was my uncle's recliner in Maine, had 48 hours, left Florida to go to this funeral. And I'm sitting in his recliner, and somebody took a picture of me because I guess I looked so ridiculous. I had two laptops on my lap. I'm almost crying telling you this. Wow, triggering me. I had two cell phones sitting next to me that were both work phones, and then a third that was a personal one over here.
Wow. And like you're feeling this right now because you're feeling the overwhelm right now, even.
And yeah, it's like really coming back to me. And I'm sitting there attempting to write my uncle's eulogy and also manage guys that I had working for me as deputy political directors scattered around the states who were reporting back to me, calling me, telling me things all the time. All of this is going on while I'm supposed to be writing a eulogy, and I only have 48 hours to basically even take this time to be with my family, to grieve all of this.
So what happened?
So I wrote it. I don't really remember a lot of it. I compartmentalized all of it. And I went back to the campaign and that was done. You know what I mean? Almost like checking off a box and just immersing myself right back into the job and the position. And when he passed away, it was in October. So it was towards the end of the election anyway. So things were even more stressful than you could imagine. And when everything was over, we won the state of Florida after 26 years, by the way. It was since Bill Clinton, the first time since a Democrat had won the state of Florida in that long a period of time. We were just overjoyed, not just for Florida, even though that was a BFD. We got the first Black man elected president. It was
Amazing.
the most incredible feeling one can ever have, especially at that age. And I just remember everyone sitting around the day after. And that's another thing that I'll share about political campaigns that not too many people understand is a presidential campaign specifically is like a startup. But when you finish the startup, it is a global enterprise. And the time you have to ramp up this global enterprise from startup is a very short period of time. And then the interesting part that no other business or company does is after you either win or lose, you tear it down completely. Like
Yeah.
where there are not even any studs left, basically. Everything is gone, everything is taken down, offices are closed, staff is relinquished, right? Your job is done. And we're all sitting around basically tearing down the office and we're all like zombies. And we're standing there looking at one another. And instead of feeling like jubilee, jubilation, whatever, we are standing around looking at each other. I can't wait to sleep or I can't wait to get my life back in order. That's what everyone was saying.
Okay. When it should be like this really celebratory thing. So, what's your big takeaway from sitting in the chair with all the cell phones and technology, this picture, your uncle passing away, and this end scene where it should have been this big celebration, but it wasn't? What's your one big takeaway from that?
Is that I know it shouldn't feel like this.
Yeah.
I know it should feel better than this, right? I know that I feel good, but I don't feel good. That makes sense. And I think a lot of your viewers can probably relate to that is that I've experienced in the research I've done when people experience burnout or they're coming close to the precipice of burnout. Oftentimes they're in a job that they love. They love their job. Maybe they're like managing too many people or they feel burnt out because they don't have enough time. Then they don't get time for themselves, their personal time, then they're not getting sleep, then they're not eating well, then they're doing most times people start to get into bad habits, things to cope that will actually do harm to yourself, further harm, drinking, alcohol, drugs, whatever, overeating, eating bad food. All of these kinds of things can be very harmful. And people use them as quick fixes or this like red button that will make everything better. And it's not. And so what happened for me is the campaign ended. I'm now trying to get a job in the administration. I'm working really hard towards doing that. And I'm working hard on myself and literally trying to get my life back in order, like I was saying. And that was like, that's the motto, which around amongst everybody is can't wait to get my life back in order before you hit the next thing. And so I hit the next thing, which was the administration. And working in the administration, I got the assignment to go work at the Pentagon. And I was like, it's that and State Department, I will tell your viewers, like at the top of the list for anyone wanting to work. Like the largest agencies in the federal government, but the largest because they also have the most money, which means there's a lot of action going on. But it's also when you're dealing with foreign policy or national security or things like that, there's just a lot more going on with Capitol Hill, et cetera. So there's a lot of focus on it, is my point. And so that was at the top of my list. And when I found out I was going to the Pentagon, I was really excited, but then I got extremely nervous. Can I hack this? Can I be this professional that I know I am and that I want to be in this new kind of scary environment. But on the heels of, I'm still tired, I'm still burnt out, and I got a job working for an assistant secretary. We traveled the world. Okay. So different time zone. I knew what I was getting myself into.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about burnout.
And I said to myself, if you don't get this under control, like you're going to fail. And so no doubt you will fail. So a funny thing happened. I started working in the Pentagon for 2 weeks and I met this woman and she said, hey, do you want to come down and work out at the Pentagon Athletic Center? And I was
Okay.
like, okay, that sounds really cool. So she took me down there. We met up in the morning. This was in CrossFit in 2010 when it was like new to the scene. I don't know if you were a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
For a lot of the day, that was when people were printing it and putting it on the wall in gym. Like there was no CrossFit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was very
Sure.
new. So she took me down there and showed me this wall with this workout. She's like, we're going to do this. And I was like, okay. And I turn around to my right as the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, is standing over there working out with his aide.
Interesting.
And then I look over here and I see this other 4-star general. He's working out. And then I see an assistant secretary over there and they're all men. And I'm like, really interesting. I was like, seems to be where I need to be. I'm like, I don't need to go to happy
Yeah.
hours anymore. I don't need to go to any of these networking things. The people that I want to see and that I want to be in the same room with are right here in this gym at wee hours of the morning, not getting interrupted. They're working out. But I saw the camaraderie with the people they were working out with. So long story short, she gets me into CrossFit. It was through CrossFit that I realized, okay, the only time I can go is at 6 a.m. So I got to go to bed earlier. God, these workouts are grueling. So I need to have enough fuel to be able to get through the workouts. So I got to eat better food. Then I got to get up earlier to go to the gym at 6. So I got to go to sleep earlier. And then my time management needs to be better so I can go to that 6 a.m. class, meaning the night before has to look completely different than I have been operating. And my stress management, how was I de stressing? What was I choosing to do? And was that serving me? And so I developed this program for myself without even knowing I had developed a program. And then everything was great. Loved my job in the Pentagon. I did not burn out, by the way. And so that was a good thing because then when 2012 came around, it was in April 2012, and I got a call over the weekend, and it was Chicago. Chicago is where Obama headquarters was. And they said, hey, we have a job. We would love for you to join the reelection campaign. And I was like, yeah, but scared because I didn't want to have to say no because I loved my job and I had just busted my butt to get into the administration. Why would I just quit?
Okay.
And I said, no way. And they said, take the weekend to think about it. And I did. And I said, Laurie, you've never said no to anything in your life out of fear. You can do this. You can use this same schedule. You've done a presidential before. You know what you need to do, and it's going to be really freaking hard, but you can do it. And so to wrap it up on the campaign, I took the job. I was the policy director for the state of Florida in 2012. We
Okay.
won election again in state of Florida. Happy moment. But I had the same exact plan that I did when I was working on a presidential. I woke up and went to a CrossFit gym at 6 a.m., 5 days a week. I brought in a massage therapist into campaign headquarters because that was how I was managing my stress. I thought to myself, wow, I bet my staff or the team or headquarters could use some of the same treatment or let them know that there's options for them or here's a referral of a person that could give you a massage, right?
Okay. So did you take some takeaways from all of that? So did you ever actually, first of all, can you define burning out? Just what's your definition of burning out so that we're all on the same page here?
Yeah, sure. Burning out is when you literally let everything else go in your life and all you focus on is your work. You let your health, you let your physical, your mental health, your sleep, everything is disrupted by you saying yes to everything, basically, and not taking care of yourself. And you'll start to feel this right away. It's when you feel like you're burning the candle at both ends. You'll know when this is happening to you. People will also start to see it's happening to you and say, hopefully they ask you, are you okay? Was everything all right? But you feel yourself starting to react to people very quickly in a negative way or start to obsess also and start think that you have to control everything. I don't know if
So
you've met a lot of people like
did
that.
you actually reach burnout from all of your
Oh yeah.
really like these wonderful positions that you've held and very important and of course you're to do. So you did hit a point where you did burn out then.
Oh yeah. It was during the 2008 campaign, I didn't realize what had happened to me.
Oh,
That's after speaking to a therapist and a nutritionist, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. That's to you. I'm very lucky because a lot of people develop like autoimmune diseases or get leaky gut and all of these very serious health issues that I am very aware of people developing because of stress and burnout. Thankfully, I did not go through that, but I'm on a mission to help people, to help professional people because I don't want anyone to experience it. I barely
yeah. And it sounds like it crept up on you. Like all of a sudden you're in this situation, you're feeling like not yourself, things are going downhill, and it's like too late almost. It's like more of a preventative thing that you're helping people with. Like you want to prevent this.
Yeah, and I was also trying to get people to realize before they even started to hit those scary stages. But hey, I see that instead of going out and tying one on every night like I used to do in the 2008 and hanging out at the bar till, hey, no shame here. I don't do it anymore, but till 2 or 3 in the morning, that's what you did. And what you wanted to do was hang out with your friends and get rid of your frustration, burn off some steam after work. But when you get out of work at 11, you're
Yeah.
and then you're going to the bar, eating crappy food, drinking, not drinking enough water. We can get in all kinds of things about health. And then waking up the next morning and starting it all over again. Oh, the pain. Like I remember the pain in my body. You
Yeah.
you are like the stages of burnout are upon you because you'll feel pain in areas. Your body will start giving you physical signs also that something is not right. If people are like feeling pain places, but they can't explain what it is, or they go to a doctor and they're like, I really don't know what it that's what it is. It's stress. You are not managing your time and your sleep and your diet and your exercise and all of that. I really
Okay.
truly believe that you have to have all five of those kind of running at the same time. One cannot be supercharged and the other is at 4%. Like it's not going to work.
So when you say 5 of those, can you list those for us? What are
Yeah,
those?
absolutely. Time management, stress management, physical fitness, exercise, what you're putting into your body. So the food that you eat and the stress management. I don't know if I said that one already. Stress management, time management, sleep, food, and exercise. Those are the five.
Okay. And so we need to look at those in order to prevent burnout. I'm curious if we're looking at real life strategies here and you had to pick
Yeah.
3 of your best tips that you learned from these people or wrote in your book, what would
Yeah.
your top 3 like real life strategies? I can go out and do this today. What would those be?
I think one of the most important is your time management because I think that touches all those areas that we're talking about, right? Like leaving enough time so you can make good food to put in your body, leaving enough time and managing that appropriately. And that means saying no to things that you've been saying yes to for maybe years, right? You have to get rid of all of the things in your life that are no longer serving you. And that is not easy. And it takes sometimes having difficult conversations with people, but the time management, if you do that appropriately for yourself, everybody is one individual and has to do what's best for them. I do believe that you could hit stars, 5 stars on all those other areas of the time management. You work on the time management, it'll help your sleep management.
Yeah.
Turning off the TV, right? Like all of it, social media. How are you handling it? That's the other part. The stress management. Are you allowing your calendar to also include things that help you with your stress management? Or do you still think that's not important? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll sleep later. I'll sleep when I'm dead is the expression. That is the worst thing you could do to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So time management is one of your number one tips. And I agree with time management and building $1 million business. Like we all have 24 hours in the day. Everything will take as long as you're going to give it. So the fact that you are a good steward of your time for your health, for your business, for your family is just how you're going to get the very most out of your life and where you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So time management. Do you have a couple more tips for us? Real life
Sure,
tips?
I would say the sleep. Just so we know when we're not feeling good the next morning, we wake up because we probably hadn't had sleep or we fussed and turned all night. Why do you feel like crap? Because you didn't sleep. Your body has to get a minimum of 6 hours a night of sleep to be even considered functioning. So for
Yeah.
these 3 and 4 hour people, like no way. And it's also so detrimental to your physical, not just your mental health, but your physical health. And do you have leaky gut, like we were talking about? Are you developing autoimmune diseases? Do you have high cholesterol, hypertension? Did you develop diabetes? There are all kinds of things that can happen to people because of their diet. And you continuing to say or treat your body like it's not worthy of having good food in it is just nonsense. And it's going to take some time to get into a routine, but it's not that hard. And I have it in the book. It's like how to fall into a routine, fall out of bed and fall into a routine. I think is what the
It's
chapter.
all about those micro habits.
No, no.
Not having to make that decision every day, it just is. That is what we do here. Like, we don't have to make that choice, because if you have to make that choice, like, you're eventually gonna wanna go, like, binge Netflix instead of go to your workout. So it's non-negotiable. This is what I do. It's on my calendar. There's no questions.
Yeah. And now I'll tie that into working out. I know people like to work out. I'm not going to tell you when to work out. Just work out. That's
Yeah,
one.
that's important.
But I will give you a tip of I will always say, and I've even tried for years of working out in the evening, whatever. If it works for you and you don't work like third and fourth shift, okay, and you can work out in the morning and that works for you, that is my tip. Don't, because there are so many things that will thwart your workout later in the day. They will happen
I
100%.
love that.
And you are going to come up with creative ideas of what could thwart your workout, right? Am I right? Like I've done it to myself. I don't feel like something happens in the day. And then that changes your mental health, right? How you're managing your stress, and you feel like all I want to do right now is go home and watch whatever or eat whatever or drink whatever. And that's going to make me feel good. And so whatever happened during the day to stress you out, now, because you didn't do that workout and get it done in the morning already, now you're surely going to get
Yeah,
it.
I think that's really good advice. That's really good advice. Tell me, in your experience, because I know that you're also a coach and you help on leadership training and you help a lot of companies and these kind of things. It sounds like, Laura, your big message is you have to basically make the time to take care of your body so that it can function on all levels and you can be the high achiever that you want to be. What are some common obstacles people have around that?
I would say the first one is this is at the very beginning of the book, getting started. That
Get it started.
number one hardest thing for people is getting started. It really is. It's getting that routine like you were talking about, but it's really staying consistent. And so I'll say get an accountability partner,
I love that.
a workout buddy, a food buddy, whatever that is. Maybe it's a sleep buddy, and you guys are helping keep each other accountable by sharing. The Aura ring, it's on my list. I want to get one for a bunch of reasons. The first is about sleep, right? It not just tracks how long you slept, but it tells you how you slept it. Like when you woke up, your breathing was deeper or heavier. It could also tell someone if they have sleep apnea. It might give you a signal. That's something that you should definitely go get addressed, because that will affect your sleep and whether or not you're sleeping soundly and getting good hygienic sleep every night.
I love
The
that.
other thing is just, I don't have time. It's the excuses of, I don't have time to do that. I'll do it tomorrow. And like, tomorrow is tomorrow. Today is today.
I
And you have to do today what you want for tomorrow for yourself. Because I don't just do this to try to look good or stay young or what. I do this because I want to live a healthy life. I want to be able to continue to have impact on this earth for other people, for myself, for my family, my friends, future kids, whatnot, to make this place better than when I left it. And how could I do that if I am not the best version of myself? And it's not just about being the best version of yourself. It's like showing up, right? Who do you want to be
Yeah.
every day? And is it feeling like crap? Is it going through this life feeling like I'm in control of my destiny? Or is it following everybody else's lead and like being the supporting role in your own movie? I love that example because it's like the leading man, the leading lady, the leading person, be that person for yourself. No one's going to do it for you. You've got to set your schedule. You've got to carve out time. You've got to eat the right food. You've got to get sleep and manage your stress, that you can do it. There are people out there doing it. I did it.
Everybody has 24 hours in the day. Okay? Everybody has 24 hours in the day. I love that. I love that.
So one more thing that I think is really important, I just want is the saying no. People need to start getting better about creating balance. And when you can create boundaries with people personally and professionally, your life will be so much better than tenfold. I promise you,
I
if you
love
can
that.
create those healthy boundaries.
I
Thanks.
love that. I love that. All right, Lori. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom on this episode. It's been really awesome talking to you about burnout. You have such a unique perspective coming in from the political realm and also being able to help business owners with these kind of things because if we're not showing up in our very best way, we're not serving our clients, we're not able to achieve our dreams and our goals, and it really does start with our health because without our health, what are you going to do? You have no options. And so I'm so glad that you were able to be on the show today. Hey, Lori, before I let you go, I'm going to turn the time over to you to let us know how to find out more about you and anything else you want the audience to know.
Thank you so much for having me, Lindsay. Your listeners and viewers can head to my website at www.laurieawatkins.com. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at my handle, Laurie A. Watkins. And then please head to your favorite bookseller to get a copy of my book, Go From Stress to Strong: Health and Fitness Advice from High Achievers. I'm sure that you will find so much helpful information in there. Like I said, there's recipes, there's workouts, there are meditation, there are a whole bunch of awesome things there to help you go from stress to strong.
I love it. Thanks, Lori. Thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Maker Show with online business consultant and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time.